Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to NieR Replicant. So today we're going to be continuing on with our playthrough as we're actually going to start playing from our completed file, which I believe should start us with Kaine. And we did get the option to change costumes, and because I had NieR Automata save data, we were able to pick some NieR costumes. And as you can see, we actually get like a pod as our load point, which is really cool.
Whenever I interacted with Kaine,
Wait, we start here.
I was reminded about something from my past.
It's kind of cool.
Maybe my mind has been confusing her with my sister this whole time. Anyway.
I'm surprised we start here, but I guess it kind of makes sense. Does it make sense? I don't know. I suppose it means we don't have to do the time skip again, which is nice. Kaine's dreams, discrimination. Sound of rain filled the village. The steep cliffs that surrounded the area magnified sound, causing even the slightest drizzle to rattle like a thunderstorm. Thin wisps of smoke streamed from huts as the villagers huddled in their homes and waited out the rain. A single child, however, had braved the downpour and was now wandering slowly toward the wooden, hawk-shaped weather vane at the center of town. The wanderer reached the vane, which had existed for as long as any could remember, and stared. The child's face was simultaneously delicate and fierce, like a teacup that had survived a shipwreck. Those traits combined with pale white skin to give the face an almost sexless quality. If the beak turns east, I go home. If it stays west, then I... Child blinked. Rain slowly dripped down the young one's short hair and began its long descent to the ground. Come on. Come on. The child felt a slight breeze and watched as the vein slowly creaked to life, spinning this way and that for a moment. It finally settled with the beak pointing firmly toward the east. East? Really? Before the vein could move again, a jagged rock came spinning and tumbling through the air, striking home against the child's head. The force of the blow dropped the child to the ground as a hail of stones began to fall all around. Oh no, they found me. A heartbreaking smile crept across the child's face as the stones continued their assault. Through the rain, the sound of multiple footsteps grew louder before a voice rang out. Yoo-hoo, Kaine. The voice belonged to Demo, the worst of all the bullies in the area. As Kaine struggled to stand, a final stone came skittering through the mud and bounced against her foot. Blood oozed from a cut above her eye and blurred her vision, but she could make out the shapes of Demo and his usual gang of idiots. The boy seemed taken aback for a moment by Kaine's seeming indifference to the blood dripping from her face, but quickly regained his bravado. What's up, freak? You like the rain? You like getting all wet? Or did you finally decide to run away from home? Though she knew it was futile, Kaine turned to leave. Before she could get more than a few steps, the other children scrambled to surround her, cruelty burning in their eyes. Kaine knew those were not the only eyes on her. The tormentor's parents watched from the safety of their homes. She was attuned to the sensation. It was one she had experienced many times before. While some villagers simply turned a blind eye to the actions of their children, many encouraged it openly. In a society ruled by superstition and fear, Kaine was something to be hated, and if possible, destroyed. I didn't say you could leave, freak. Emo's words chewed her like a worm through an apple. He can't hurt me, she lied to herself. Be strong. Be brave. He can't hurt me. Can't hurt me. He can't hurt. Oh look, the little freak is gonna cry. What's wrong? Are you sad that everyone hates you and wants you dead? Kaine prayed for the rain to flood down and carry her away from a world that seemed to have no place for her. But if there were gods, they chose to ignore her. As Demo kept ever closer, the clouds began to thin and the rain slowed. Even the weather hates me. I'm useless. A failure. I wish Demo's rock had taken my head off. Kaine couldn't meet Demo's leering gaze. She lowered her eyes and stared at the muddy ground below her. The bully moved forward until he was inches away. She could smell the scent of old meat on his breath. The boy grabbed Kaine's face with thick fingers and yanked it upward. She tried to turn away, but he forced her gaze back and jammed his thumb against her eyelid to pry it open. Show me. No. Did you just say no? Demo grinned evilly. You don't say no to me. No one says no to me. Not even taking his attention from Kaine, he called to his cohorts. Come on guys, let's give this freak what she deserves. As soon as Demo finished, kicks and blows began to rain down upon Kaine. Demo paused, still grinning, as Kane curled into a ball and tried to make the pain stop. I don't get you, freak. What you acting like a girl for, huh? Everyone knows what you really are. Kane ignored the question, choosing instead to stare at the weather vane. It continued to point east, as if supremely confident about the future it had chosen for her. Go home? Yeah, it's a funny joke for someone with dead parents and no home to go to. Freak, chanted the children. Freak, freak, freak. Kane closed her eyes and listened to the rain, waiting for the pain to start again. As the clutching hands of the village children closed around her, she bent her mind to the sound of the rain, letting it become her world entire. The rain fell, but the pain never came. Only when the laughter of her tormentors turned to terrified cries did she dare open a single blood-caked eye. Kane was shocked to see Demo sprawled on the ground, holding his head and screaming in pain. She could see blood welling from spaces between his fat, twisted fingers. Oh my god, he's crying. He's actually crying. Deprived of their leader, the other children glanced back and forth between themselves as if waiting for someone to step forward and take charge. When no savior emerged, they began an uneasy shuffle away from Kane, but the young girl was the least of their concerns. Instead, their attention was rapt on the ancient woman standing a few feet away. After struggling for breath for a moment, she finally spoke in a voice thick with rage. Hurts like a bitch, don't it? I suggest you scatter before I throw another one. And if any of you little bastards ever touch my Kane again, I'll do far worse than throw a rock. You can count on it. The old woman crouched down and gently touched the hand Dino was using to cover the wound. Before he could think to protest, she ground her palm into the wound and twisted back and forth. Ow! He screamed, leaping to his feet. Stop it, what are you doing? Quit whining, ain't no one ever died from a scratch. You hit me with a rock, you stupid bitch. A big one. That thing could have killed me. The old woman shrugged. Death is the best cure for stupid. Dino's face twisted with rage at her words, locking his eyes on Kane. He took a step backwards and spat on the ground. Get out, leave this village. No one wants you here, either of you. Seeing the old woman grab another stone, Demo and his companions turned tail and ran. As they fled, the old woman grabbed her side and barked out a single laugh. Ha! Look at the fat boy go. Guess he's healthy enough to run from a fight. The woman's smile faded as she turned her attention to Kane. Kneeling down, she removed her shawl and placed it around the young girl's shoulders, then produced a cloth from the folds of her dress and began blotting out the blood on her forehead. Oh, Kane, she said, why didn't you fight back? You're stronger than that lot. The words of her grandmother stung Kane and she turned away. Don't be nice to me. I don't deserve it. Nothing matters anymore. Her tears, held in check for so long, finally began to fall on the muddy ground below. Everyone hates me. They think I cause bad things to happen. They think I'm a freak. I wish I was dead. As Kane's tears turned to sobs, she felt her grandmother's hands on her shoulders. Despite her advanced age and diminutive size, she was a woman of surprising strength. Kane found herself unable to turn away. Don't talk like that, girl. It's a river wide and deep that flows between the realms of this world and the next, and it grants no mercy to any that attempt the crossing. You got a duty to fight until your last breath. Understand? The old woman tightened her grip and tried to still the tremor in her voice. You know the pain of losing someone close to you, Kane. You know because you survived it. As the words hit home, Kane was struck by the force of her love for the old woman. As a young child, she didn't even know of her grandmother, but when her parents died, the woman quickly accepted her as her own. Grandma, as Kane called her, was cunning, vulgar, and quick to violence, and their first few years together had not been easy. But with each year that passed, Kane and her grandmother had grown closer. However, it was only now, sitting in the mud, with tears and blood caking her face, Kane truly understood the depth of her affection. Here was a woman who had seen hard times, who had seen death, who had fought through all these things and somehow emerged on the other side. If anyone could understand Kane's pain and loneliness, it was her. Do I make you sick, Grandma? Of course not, don't be an ass. Kane drew her grandmother's moth-eaten shawl around her body and shuddered. But my body, it's not normal. If I was normal, then Mum and Dad wouldn't. Hush. I'll not hear another word of this nonsense. You're my granddaughter and I love you. And if folks have a problem with that, they can just go to hell. With that, the old woman reached out and placed a wreath of dried flowers in Kane's hair. The skill it took to bend the flowers without breaking the stems or losing a single petal was remarkable, and the beauty of it made Kane want to cry all over again. Oh my gosh, these are lunar tears. Grandma, you made this for me? Lunar tears were legendary flowers. Most people could live their entire lives without ever seeing one, and yet her grandmother had somehow collected a dozen or more. Kane reached up and touched the wreath as if she couldn't believe it was real. Where did you find these? Just stumbled on him when I was out doing the shopping. The old woman turned away as she spoke, leading Kane to suspect that the search should be more difficult than she was letting on. The pains she took to construct the ornament, let alone track down the flowers used in its construction, made Kane's heart hurt. She reached up and gently adjusted the wreath, admiring the way it felt between her fingers. Didn't quite turn out right, said her grandmother, as she squinted at it. These old hands have trouble with delicate work, but it sure looks good on a pretty girl like you. Kane blushed and turned away. Think I'm pretty? Of course you are. What a fool thing to say. Thank you, Grandma. Grandmother smiled. We're gonna be fine, you and me. As long as we got each other, we're just fine. Kane took her grandmother's hand in hers, and the two of them struggled to their feet. As they began the long walk home, Kane gripped the hand with all her might, as if trying to stop smoke from drifting away on the wind. The rain had stopped. Kane stood beneath the weather vane, watching it spin lazy circles, no longer caring about the direction it faced when it stopped. I don't need to escape. I have a home now. Grandma loves me, and that's enough. Even if it's us against the world. Kane let her gaze drift up past the vane and into the cloudy sky. The last faint hints of a rainbow were slowly fading. As she turned and headed for home, the light scattered into a million particles and vanished, seemingly taken away on the breeze. Kane's dreams, daily life. In the distance, Kane heard the steady sounds of an axe striking wood. The noise had a purposeful quality to it, as if she was hearing a master woodsman go about his work. The firewood being produced, however, was far from a work of art as could be. Pieces of every shape and size were being flung about a barren yard with wild abandon. Anyone trying to stack such wood would probably die of frustration before the job was through. Stupid piece of shit axe. Kane's grandmother flailed with the axe, filling the air with both splinters of wood and words that would make the most hardened sailors blush. Grandma! You Kane? Yelled the old woman, taking her eyes off wood for a moment. Don't get too close or I might take your goddamn foot off by mistake. Brought the axe down on a piece of wood, sending chips flying in every direction. One spun past Kane's close enough for her to hear the whistle, at which point she decided to step back. Once she'd scuttled to a safe distance, she cupped her hands around her mouth and shouted, Grandma, do you need help? I can get you water or lunch or a new axe or something. The axe poised to strike another wobbly blow, paused in midair. The old woman considered her granddaughter's offer for a moment, then smiled. Tell you what, since I'm doing such a piss poor job of chopping, why don't you come here and take over so I can get the water? Shades have been restless lately. Now I don't want you running into one of them bastards. Relinquishing the axe, her grandmother picked up a long pole with wooden buckets on either end. Gathering water was by far the most difficult of the two jobs, but Kane knew better than to complain. Once Grandma's mind was set, there was no changing it. Kane did her best to help with the chores, but Grandma took every task that required travel to the village. Though she had a long list of plausible excuses, Kane knew the real reason. She didn't want her granddaughter to be taunted and harassed by the villagers. Once Kane moved in, Grandma decided to take up residence a good distance from the area. Out of sight, out of mind seemed to be the best policy when it came to the villagers and her granddaughter, and rare were the days when any but the two of them could be found on the rocky acre of land they called home. Kane enjoyed the solitude, but harboured a secret resentment that her grandmother was forced to spend her golden years in such a place. After watching her grandmother leave, Kane turned her attention to the task at hand. She had never chopped wood before in her life, and soon discovered why the old woman hated the chore. Swing after swing of the axe produced only a tiny crack in the wood. When she finally managed to connect with a solid stroke, the tool embedded itself in the log and refused to budge. Frustrated, Kane swung the axe around her head and threw it, log and all, across the yard. Damn it, damn it, ah crap. She suddenly understood the joy her grandmother felt in a good curse. Happy now, she picked up the axe, forced it from the wood, and resumed chopping. She had a natural skill with a blade, but the task was challenging and blisters soon began to form in her small pink hands. This is tough, and my logs are all weird sizes. Spinning on her palms, ignoring the pain, Kane redoubled her efforts. Just as she was developing a rhythm, Grandma returned from the village, setting down her buckets with a small sigh. She took one look at the logs and coughed out a wheezing laugh. Pretty clumsy, girl. Better practice if you... Her grandmother suddenly collapsed to her knees, causing one of the buckets to wobble precariously. Eyes wide, Kane dropped the axe and ran to her grandmother's side. Grandma! The old woman shook her head and pointed a trembling finger at the bucket. Get the bucket. Can't let it spill. Kane steadied the bucket with a foot as she knelt by her grandmother. A small bit of water sloshed over the side and made a new home in the hem of her dress, but Kane didn't notice. Grandma? Grandma, what's happening? Raised with panic, she grabbed her grandmother by the shoulders and shook. After a moment, the woman lifted her arms and batted Kane away. Stop that. Just stop. It ain't like I'm dying, just tired from the trip is all. Kane desperately wanted to believe her, but one look at the old woman's shaking hands and worn face told her more than words ever could. Her grandmother had lived a long, hard life, and it seemed the bill was finally coming due. The time when her grandmother watched over Kane was ending. Sooner than either of them had feared, the positions would be reversed. The next morning, Kane came to the side of her grandmother's bed and took her wrinkled hand. "Grandma, you're sick, and you need medicine. I'm going to the village." The old woman shook her head and tried to rise. Kane gently pushed her down. "It's alright. I'll be fine." Her grandmother fixed her with a gaze that could melt steel. After what seemed an eternity, she finally lowered her eyes and sighed. "Well, I don't like it, goddammit. But I guess I should quit being so stubborn and let you grow up." The old woman watched as Kane strapped on her boots and made her way down the road to the village. Hours later, as an unseen sun made its way across a dark and rainy sky, she was still watching. Kane moved at a brisk pace, checking her pockets every few minutes to make sure the money her grandmother gave her was still there. Every noise caused her to spin on her heels, making sure she wasn't being stalked by a shade, or worse, Demo and his gang. She encountered neither tormentors nor shades, and Kane finally found herself at the entrance to the village. The few adults she could see glanced sideways at her, then muttered to each other behind raised hands before slinking away into the shadows. Her heart racing, Kane took a series of rapid, shallow breaths and tried to calm herself. "I have to prove to myself. I have to help Grandma. I have to be strong." She channeled those words to herself over and over as she slowly made her way. Finally, her eyes settled upon a rotund, older woman who was angrily waving her arms in the air and telling anyone who would listen exactly what she thought of Kane's presence. "Hey lady, where's the apothecary?" The woman's flabby cheeks shook in bewildered anger. "How dare this thing speak to me," they seemed to say. But Kane saw that her eyes held a different emotion. "Fear." "Yeah, we're both scared, lady. Trust me on this one." "Which way?" she repeated. The woman pointed at a small building to her right before hitching up her dress and stumbling off in the other direction. Kane cringed, expecting a stone to come flying from the assembled crowd, but none came. Her mind was filled with a strange sense of pride as she made her way to the apothecary. The new emotion had a little time to take root, for as soon as she opened the door, she noticed a familiar customer at the counter. It was Demo. He'd clearly been sent here on some kind of family errand, because his gang of followers was nowhere to be found. "Oh, Mike," he sputtered. "What are you doing here, freak?" The insult was delivered without force, and Kane happily ignored it. Stretching on tiptoes to see over the counter, she asked the shopkeeper for medication. "Ha!" mocked Demo. "That old bitch finally keel over? Go to hell, Demo." The boy's eyes grew so wide they seemed ready to fall out of his head, but before he could let fly a comeback, or worse, a punch, the apothecary told them to knock it off before he kicked them out of the store. Demo slunk out of the shop, pressing Kane under his breath. Once he was gone, she allowed herself to breathe once more, taking a brief tour of the shop while the owner prepared her medication. Countless tiny bottles filled the cramped store, each with a label written in some indecipherable language. An ocean of aromas assaulted her nose, creating a scent that was exotic, but not altogether unpleasant. Seeing such a variety of supplies gave Kane a sense of peace. Surely in a world so vast, there would be a place that she could call home. On the far wall behind the counter rested a portrait of a stunning young girl. The picture had once contained bright, vibrant colours, but time had worked its cruel magic, and they were beginning to fade. The beauty of the work, however, remained undiminished. "Like that picture?" Kane turned to find the apothecary with a small vial of medicine in his hand. His eyes were gentle but sad, and they seemed to stare through her into nothing as he spoke. "That's my daughter. I sketched it when she was just a little girl. She's been dead a long time now." Kane didn't know how to respond. She just stared at the portrait and tried to come up with the right words. "Pictures are wonderful things. They let the ones closest to you live on forever." He shook his head slightly, then looked down at Kane and smiled. Handing her the medicine, he reached into his sizable green apron and produced a handful of old wax crayons. "You should have these. There's no one left that I wish to draw." Kane took an instinctive step back, causing the shopkeeper's face to darken. "Yes, I've heard the rumors about you. It's a small village and word travels quickly. Between you and me, I'm not sure which of them to believe, but I also don't think they matter much. I know your grandmother, Carly, and I think the way she was driven out of this town is just deplorable." "Grandmother's name is Carly?" thought Kane suddenly. She was still mulling this new fact over in her mind as she reached out and gently took the crayons from the apothecary's hands. "Your grandmother's an old friend of mine, and I owe her much. I wager she would like it if you drew a picture of her." "Yes, I think she would like that very much." Kane murmured a quiet agreement, but inside her heart was bursting. Never before had a villager treated her with anything but complete contempt. It was a tiny, almost indecipherable step. Imperceptible step, but it was a step nonetheless, and with enough tiny steps she might one day discover the rest of the world. When Kane returned home, she found her grandmother asleep in her bed. Her feet were blackened and raw, even bleeding in places, letting Kane think she'd been pacing around the room until exhaustion finally caught up with her. Placed medicine by her grandmother's pillow and turned to leave, but found the old woman's hand clasped around her arm. Back already, are you? Come here, let me have a look at you. Grandmother sat up and examined Kane from head to toe. Finally satisfied that nothing terrible had befallen her grandchild, she leant back and allowed herself to relax. Well, how was it? Those bastards give you any trouble? It was kind of fun, Kane said with a small smile. No, seriously, it was. Fun, eh? Asked the grandmother, voice which implied she believed anything but. Uh-huh, so anytime you need me to run an errand, just let me know. As she spoke, Kane removed the crowns from her pocket. After a brief explanation of their source, she informed her grandmother that she was going to sketch her portrait. Portrait of me? Ridiculous. No one wants to stare at a wrinkled old crone. But grandmother, it'll make you live forever. Oh shit, said her grandmother, throwing back the sheet from her bed. Living forever would just piss me off. Now put those crowns away and help me with dinner. Kane would not relent, and in the end, Grandma found herself leaning against the wall of their house as if posing for a master artist. Kane took up the crayons and eyed her subject carefully and set to work. Just as her grandma was about to nod off, Kane finished the piece. After staring at it for a bit, she released it from her grip and let it slowly drift to the floor. It's terrible. Doesn't look like you at all. Sorry, Grandma. Thought these crayons would, make drawing easy or something. The woman's eyes narrowed at her grandmother's disappointment. Let me be the judge of that, she said, ignoring the pain in her back and reaching for the paper. The sketch could have been a person's face, or it could have been a boulder, a lump of clay, or an incredibly misshapen loaf of bread, all rendered in a chaotic array of colours. The old woman stared at the picture for a long time, then slowly wheezed out a laugh. Oh, Kane, she said between laughter. You truly are my blood. You're as clumsy as me, and I love it. But, hush, I won't hear any more bull about how ugly you think it is. It came from the heart, and I'll treasure it always. True to her word, the old woman gave the picture a place of honour above the kitchen table. In the days that followed, Kane would often catch her staring at the portrait with a strange smile on her face, an action she interpreted as silent, mocking laughter. A week later, Kane could stand it no longer and asked her grandmother to take the artwork down. Posh, said the old woman. I'll take this down when they roll me in my shroud. Pondered this for a bit, then turned to Kane and dropped to one knee. Listen to me, girl. Seeing this picture makes me happy in a way I've never felt before, and it makes me want to go on, so that someday you can feel the same happiness. It was a moment that burned itself into Kane's memory. A perfect blend of pride and love and joy came together to form a lifelong remembrance. She swore to never forget this moment, to never forget the old woman who had made her place in the world possible. Time moves on, people and memories move in and out of a life like ghosts passing through a hall. But this moment will be different, Kane swore, because I will remember it forever. Forever. Kane's dreams. Separation. Kane listened to the sound of crackling firewood and stared at the black object on her plate. She'd been pushing it around the wooden disc for a good 10 minutes, ignoring the bemused stare of her grandmother. Finally, she summoned her courage and gave the object a brief sniff. A sharp, bitter scent flew up her nostrils and made its home there, causing her face to twist with disgust. Grandma, can't believe you want me to eat a bug. The old woman threw some more wood under the cooking pot and snorted. It's no bug, you fool, it's a berry. Why the hell would I be feeding you bugs? Yeah, well, it looks like a bug, and I don't think it's burnt or something because it smells terrible. That Kane held her nose and threw the berry in her mouth, chewing as little as possible. Oh yeah, that's terrible, alright. Why, you little brat. Look at the sass on you, you've been spending too much time with me, and that's a fact. 5 years had passed since the moment when Kane's grandmother saved her from the bullies. As is often the way with two stubborn people, their relationship had grown in fits and starts, but moved forward all the same. Meals that used to be somber affairs were now filled with laughter and hurled abuse in equal measure. Kane could not remember a time when she had been happier. As years went by, Kane started to shoulder more and more of the daily responsibilities. Her grandmother's legs grew weaker by the day, and she could no longer do many of the chores she used to take for granted. And so this morning found Kane lacing up her work boots with a breakfast of burnt berry rolling around her through her belly. Where are you going today? Kane looked up surprised. The woman rarely asked for specifics anymore. Well, I was going to check out the Kelma tree and see if they were ripe. But we could make some jam or something. Oh, I'm going to pick some flagstones too, so I need to take the wheelbarrow. Flagstones? What in the hell for? Kane stared at her grandmother, then held out an arm and swept it around their home. Constructed mostly of cloth, rope, and rubble, the old place sagged like a boxer in the final round. Grandma, a dying cat could chew through this house. I'm going to build a stone wall so we have some protection. The old woman laughed, exposing the toothless grin to the world. God damn, girl, if a bunch of thieves want to ransack this old place, let them come. We got nothing worth stealing anyway. Don't worry about thieves, I'm worried about shades. People saw one west of the village yesterday. The old woman tilted her head and stared at her granddaughter. Well, shoot. I don't know why you have to do it today. We can worry about some other. Grandma, no. If I don't go to the Kalma trees, we won't eat tonight, you know that. Amused expression passed across the old woman's face. For a moment, she was a small child lost at a carnival. Yes, just after a bit. Yes, of course, you're right. I'm sorry, Kane. Lately seems my mind is. She didn't finish the thought. Said, walking over to her nightstand and gently taking the wreath of lunar tears from the drawer. The flower's petals had aged to a brilliant whiteness. Kane thought it was more beautiful now than the day she first received it. You're going to be a true woman soon, Grandma said as she placed the flowers in the girl's hair. So that means less chatter about shades and building defensive walls, and more talk about how beautiful you've become. Annoyed, Kane reached up to remove the garland, but the look on her grandmother's face stopped her hand. You're a beautiful thing, said the old woman, and there ain't another like you in all the world. I'm very proud of you. Okay, Grandma, it's enough goddamn compliments for one day. Touch your mouth on you, where did that come from? Gee, I wonder. I'll teach you to sass me, you girl. Suddenly she lurched forward and grabbed Kane by the ears, pulling her around the room with a crazed grin on her face. Grandma, yelled Kane in a quaking voice. Grandma, stop, what the hell? The old woman stared at her and blinked, and slowly held a wrinkled hand out as if it was the first time she had ever seen them. Oh, I don't know what happened there, I'm sorry, girl. Sometimes my mind just... Kane thought the look on her grandmother's face was the most heartbreaking thing she'd ever seen. Listen, maybe I should stay home after all. No, I won't have you stay here and keep an eye on an old codger like me. Go get your fruit and your wall and whatnot, I'll be fine. When you come back, I'll have a nice grasshopper dinner waiting for you. Kane rolled her eyes and kissed her grandma on the forehead and made ready to depart, trying desperately to ignore the worry that was gnawing at the walls of her heart. Kane could feel the old woman's eyes watching her as she moved down the path. Don't turn around, she told herself. In the end, the temptation was too great. She spun on her heel for one final look and saw a small, bent woman standing in front of a ramshackle hut with a sad expression on her face. Gods, she looks so old now. It's like the wind could reach down and just carry her away. Kane worried about her grandmother all day, causing her work to suffer. What little fruit she could collect was tossed carelessly into the wheelbarrow, and she only found a couple stones before losing interest in the project. Finally, as dusk approached, she decided to call it a day. Cursing herself for the lack of focus, Kane pushed the nearly empty wheelbarrow back down the path. As she crested the final hill, she suddenly froze in place. The wheelbarrow fell from her fingers and collapsed to its side, sending a few pieces of wrinkled brown fruit back down the hill. Her gaze was transfixed by a thick black cloud that hovered just ahead. Tracing its path with a finger, Kane suddenly felt her stomach knot in on itself. Oh gods, no. Her grandmother's house was ablaze, the flames licking up as if trying to touch the sky itself. Grandma? Grandma? Kane ran then, faster than she had ever moved in her life. Once she tripped on a stone and went sprawling to the rocky ground, but she leapt to her feet and continued running, unmindful of the blood that spilled from her wounded hands and knees. As she got closer and closer, Kane's mind began to race in time with her footfalls. It's too dark. It's too dark. Not just fire. Can't be fire. Too much smoke. Gotta save her. Gotta save her. She burst into the front yard and came to a sudden halt, her worst suspicions confirmed. The smoke from the fire was mingling with the thick, inky blackness of an enormous shade. The massive creature supported itself on 3 twisted feet and achieved balance through means of a large, armored tail. Scales, horns, and claws sprouted from its body in a random, chaotic pattern, giving it the appearance of a lizard designed by some insane god. Seeing Kane, it let out a roar and flicked its tail, sending small whirlwinds spinning around the yard. For a moment, the creature retreated into a shimmering, inky blackness as if her mind was unable to comprehend that such a thing could actually exist, but then the smell hit her, a blend of rotted meat and excrement, and the horror became real once more. The creature bellowed again, and this time Kane responded with a scream of her own. Alright, you bastard, she thought, as her scream echoed off the high cliffs around them. It's you or me, let's go. The shade eyed Kane with bemused interest and began to looking from her to the house and back again, as if urging her to look at the destruction it had so gleefully wrought. With dread building in her heart, Kane glanced toward the house. Through the smoke and flames, she spotted a small figure struggling to escape the ruins. Grandma! At the sound of her voice, the old woman began waving frantically. She's alive, Kane thought. Alive! Kane's legs sprang to life as she raced across the yard toward the flaming wreckage of the house. Before she could advance more than a few steps, the shade opened its mouth and let out a roar powerful enough to uproot trees and send them flying. The blast sent Kane tumbling through the air before smashing her against the rocky earth. Stars danced in front of her eyes as she tried to remember how her legs worked. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up now! As Kane struggled to her feet, the shade stomped toward the house and pinned her grandmother to the ground with the tip of a claw. The old woman struggled to move the claw from her stomach, but she might well have been pushing a mountain. She coughed briefly, sending a small spray of blood into the air, and collapsed to the ground, her energy spent. Kane lurched to her feet only to fall back to earth with a gasp. Her ankles were on fire, one or both of them were surely broken. Ignoring the pain that screamed through her body, she began dragging herself across the ground, leaving a drunken trail of dust and blood in her wake. Grandma, hold on, just a little longer. Her grandmother's face was turning blue, her eyes rolling back until only the whites were exposed. Kane pulled herself across the ground with maddening slowness, the distance seeming to increase with every second that passed. The shade glanced between the two women and flicked out its tongue, its giant mouth turning up at the corners. Short, panting breaths belched from somewhere deep within its core. Bastard, laughing at us. She had no idea how such a mindless creature could experience emotion, but there could be no doubt the shade was taking joy in their suffering. Yeah, I see your plan. The shade moved its claw slightly, allowing grandmother to breathe again. It was clearly keeping her alive only to snuff out her life when Kane was close enough to touch her. I'm gonna kill this bastard. Summoning all of her strength, Kane rose to her feet. There was a sickening snap from her right ankle as the foot twisted backwards, but she forced it from her mind and began to hobble toward the monster. Pulling a small knife from the pouch at her waist, she leapt on the foot that pinned her grandmother and plunged the weapon deep. Give her back, she screamed. Give her back to me. It was like stabbing a rock. After a few swipes, the knife broke at the hilt with a dull snap. Shade panted laughter away again, then raised its tail and sent it rushing through the air toward the young girl that was latched to its foot. Kane never had a chance. The tail struck her square in the chest and sent her crashing into the burning wreckage of their home. As she lay on the ground with blood pouring from multiple wounds, a small, weak voice spoke up. Kane? Kane's vision blurred, but she forced herself to focus on the sound. Finally, her eyes cleared enough for her to make out her grandmother's hand reaching out through the smoke. Grandma, Kane, you gotta run. Aunt, best this one. Kane grabbed the hands and held on with all her strength. Grandma, come on, we have to go. The old woman coughed loudly, one of her hands, slick with blood, slipped from Kane's grasp and thumped to the ground below. Grandma? No, no! Said run, goddammit. You have to live. You have to get through. The thought would stay forever finished. Before she could say another word, the shade clawed foot descended, smashing through the remains of the roof and down upon the shattered figure of the old woman. Blood oozed from gaps in the creature's toes as the terrible putrid smell assaulted Kane's nose once again. She stared at the foot, dumbfounded, convinced that what she was seeing could not possibly be real. When the creature finally lifted its appendage, all that remained underneath was a twisted, unrecognizable mass of rubble and red. Her grandmother was gone. Kane blinked, trying to feel the hands which had been in hers just a moment before. For a fleeting instant she could remember the warmth of that embrace, the trembling of the fingers, but then the sensation drifted away on the breeze and was gone. Memories flashed through Kane's mind one after the other, faster and faster, until it became a meaningless jangle of noise. Kane screamed then, a thunderous sound that echoed off the cliffs and seemed to roll away forever. Shade eased forward, black ichor pouring from its mouth and dissolving into smoke on the ground below. The earth shook with every step as it crept towards its prey. Kane's body slowly rose as if controlled by a mad puppet master. Her arms and legs were bent at impossible angles. Her head lolled dangerously to the side, yet somehow she managed to stand. Staring at the shade, her eyes began to glow with a deep red fire. Creature, so confident just moments before, took a slow, hesitant step backwards, trying to discern if this broken human could possibly pose a threat. Kane seized the moment. Laughing like a madwoman, she leapt into the air and plunged the shattered hilt of her knife deep into the leg of the shade. The shade shook Kane off like a fly, sending her crashing to the earth once again. Her chest rose and fell slowly, as if a great weight were resting on it. Moist sounds of pain echoed through her mind. Something warm and thick oozed from her ears. That blood? Think it is. I'm bleeding to death. No, can't die. Grandma told me to live. Deep inside Kane's mind, something finally broke. The sound, the pain, the smoke and flames, all of it faded away until all that remained was a single incantation repeated over and over again. Kill it. Kill it. Kill it. It's a lot of killers. Kill it now. As a spark that was Kane slowly began to flicker and die, she felt her desire to kill and her desire to live blend into one. The distance between heartbeats grew longer and longer and longer. Alright, wasn't expecting a freaking visual novel. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Oh, and he has the 9S outfit.
Beast approaches. Oh, I know.
Yeah. You guys can let me know what you think about the outfit changes. I was just... I don't know. Bit of fun. There was like an option like I could... Well, Emil apparently has costumes, but I don't have any unlocked yet. So I imagine we'll have to do an Emil playthrough. I was not locked on.
How did it even survive these past 5 years? I'm not gonna let this happen again. It dies today.
Okay. Dies tonight.
This sword feels lighter. It's not the blade, but the skill of the user. Strike it down.
I wonder if that's my fully upgraded weapon. Damn it. Damn it. You get down here. Thank you. Alright, that's fine. Oh, shit. There we go. Oh, we're supposed to be playing as Kane. What the hell? Oh, at least we get to see this cutscene with our character in 9S's outfit. Like pops the head off, right? Like rips it off. I think. Unless this... Nope. Just crushes it. I was like, unless I changed it. Nice. I'm personally very happy with this outfit change. Not that there was anything wrong with Kane's original outfit. Just a big 2B fan. Kane's dreams. Counter. Doing more reading? Come on, man. My voice is killing me. Ah, god damn it. Alright. Hang on 2 seconds. I've literally had to pause constantly to drink water. Gently, weakly, softly. Shade, sure that its tormentor was dead, turned and stomped off toward the horizon, stopping along the way to bellow one final roar. Couldn't kill it. Shame beyond imagining, Kane tried to turn her head to the side, but only succeeded in coughing up a huge gout of blood. It was getting difficult to see, and only after a moment of fierce concentration did she realize that her left eye was gone. Laughing to herself, she turned her remaining eye to the ruins of her home and noticed a rag stump of arm resting a few feet away. Yeah, it's mine, she thought with a mad giggle. It's gonna make clapping a real bitch. Ha! Cried a sudden voice from the depths of her mind. Finally gonna die, are ya? Well, you had it coming. Go to hell, Demo, she thought, as the unseen assailant. Go to hell, for I pluck out your eyes and feed them to a dog. Voice of her childhood terror evaporated into smoke, only to be replaced by another, more recent voice. Hold still, said the apothecary, materializing from the ruins like a ghost. I want to draw you. That way you can live forever. No, stop. Don't want to live forever. I want to die right here. I see, he said quietly. Well, if that's what you want. The spectral shopkeeper fluttered in and out of existence for a moment, then produced a piece of paper and sketched quickly. After a few seconds, he turned the page to Kane and smiled. Since you rejected my offer, I decided to draw someone else. The picture of her grandmother, real as life. Kane opened her mouth to thank the man, but stopped as the picture began to blacken in the middle. Before she could say anything, dozens of multi-legged insects began to swarm around the image, tearing at it with sharpened pincers. Stop, no, don't hurt that picture. Kane reached out with her remaining arm and waved futilely at the air. To her surprise, the insects fell off the picture and the ground below, where they vanished into tiny black tendrils of smoke. Relieved, Kane turned her good eye back to the picture, only to open her mouth in a silent scream. The sketch now showed her grandmother, as she truly was, a smashed, unrecognizable lump of nothing. The apothecary smiled, then broke into a jolly dance. See that? He cried as he danced his jig. It's perfect now, she looks just like you, ha-cha-cha-cha. I look like that? Oh god, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Drowning in despair, Kane laid her head back in the mud and smoke of her ruined house and waited for the end to come. Just before she let everything go, an unfamiliar voice began whispering in her ear. Ain't you got a wish, sunshine? Voice was vulgar and fierce at the same time, as if insanity had somehow found a way to take form. Kane wanted to scream as the voice crawled under her skin, but her lungs refused to work. You know, a wish, like a prayer or something. Why don't you get on your knees and start praying to heaven? Please, invisible man in the sky, save me, save me. Ka 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 ka. Kane finally resorted to shouting at the voice with her mind. I don't make wishes, they don't come true for me. I'm a curse, a freak, I should be left to die. The other voice boomed in her ears. Wahahaha, oh god, you are the best. Kane glanced down and saw a black, shiny substance oozing from her legs. Tried to brush it away, but her remaining arm would no longer respond. The substance slowly crept around her feet and then began moving up toward the rest of her body. Is this death? Is this what it's like? Or is my mind just losing itself? She could feel the slime oozing upward, feel the hot, searing pain it left in its wake. Whatever else might be happening, she was still alive and this was real. Come on, said the voice, let's go. Kane tried to ignore the voice and concentrate on the pain, but the newcomer would have none of it. Don't ignore me, sunshine. You're ready to give up, ready to die, so why not let me have it? Have what? Your body. Come on, give it to me. Give it to me. I want to stand on the ground, feel the rain, taste the wind. The voice paused as if licking its lips. When it resumed, it was filled with mad, unabated joy. And I want to take your hands and use them to choke the goddamn life out of people. I want to tear up their throats and bathe in the blood just like before. In response, Kane shifted her head and vomited. The warmth of it crept down her front and mingled with the pain of the encroaching black ooze. Are you a shade? Kahaha. Yeah, maybe. What of it? Slime reached her face, crept up past her nose, and slowly oozed into the socket of her missing eye. The moment it touched her brain, Kane was struck by the most powerful sensation she'd ever felt in her life. It was ecstasy. She wanted to scream with delight, but all she could manage was a small, whispered moan. Feels good, don't it? Yeah, what can I say? I know how to please the ladies. Now give me that body, come on. Give me the body and I'll give you more of this feeling. It's a fair trade. A black lump began to protrude from Kane's side as she watched it grow longer and thicker, eventually taking the form of her missing arm. I can see better, she thought. My eye must be growing back too. Slime reached up to envelop the rest of her face, but she managed to brush it away. Stop, she whispered, marveling at how she'd regained her voice. Stop. Black Ooze hesitated as if considering this request, and quickly shimmered down her body before disappearing into a cloud of smoke. Ah, what the hell, sunshine? We had a deal, I thought you wanted to die. Grandma said, can't die yet. A brief image of her grandmother, bloodied and broken, flashed before her eyes. She saw the shade that had killed her and heard its mocking laughter, then closed her eyes and forced the image from her mind. Her whole body was quaking with rage. When she opened her eyes again, they burned bright red. That thing took my grandmother. I have to kill it before I die. Kane glanced down and saw a mysterious pattern of the shades, burn itself into her left arm. Well, I'll be damned, said the voice cheerfully. Look at that, sunshine. I think you and me are going to be good friends now. Kane stared intently at her arm. The more emotional she felt, the more the letters seemed ready to puncture her skin and begin infecting the rest of her body. The arm clearly had a will of its own. Stop. Gotta stop. Holding her left arm in her right, Kane took a deep breath and tried to calm herself. Come on, don't fight it. Eight's my favorite dish and I'm hungry. Let it go. Feel the anger. Burn with the fire of revenge. Thirst for blood. Then go out there and shut up and get the hell out of my body. Your body? Oh, that's rich, sunshine. Real rich. Look, why don't you just up and die so I can have this body all to myself? What do you say? Bet those buddies of yours in the area would love to see you dead. Kane grabbed a shard of glass and tried to saw off the shade-infected portion of her side. Before she could, her darkened left arm grabbed her right wrist, crushing it. Kane screamed and dropped the shard at the set, as the sound of bone crunching on bone filled the air. Ah ha ha, stupid idiot girl, you're possessed now, sunshine, and there ain't no going back. The voice laughed again, a loud, long wail that seemed to go on without end. Possessed, whispered Kane. Yeah, possessed. You and me, we got what you might call a timeshare arrangement. Remember how folks used to think you were a freak? Well, wait till they get a load of you now. Kane looked up, tears in her eyes. The sky seemed smaller somehow, darker. Is this because of that shade? Is this how they see the world? So I'll listen, purred the voice. I know this whole possession thing is a bit sudden, but it ain't all bad. Playing it for you too. I'm a very powerful creature, and now that that power belongs to you. Get enemies, people you want to kill, I can make it happen. That little fat kid who kept picking on you, that big old shade that squashed your granny, or wrap them up in their own arseholes. No more abuses for you, sunshine, no more pain. Wait, said Kane, you're a shade. Why would you help me kill another shade? What, you think I'm some kind of racist? Some killing snob? I don't give a goddamn who you murder, honey pants. I just want to drink from the well. Kane considered this as she struggled to her feet, the power of the shade coursing through her. Smoke from her house was drifting away from the wind, and she enjoyed the way the cool evening breeze felt on her new left arm. After a long pause, the voice spoke up again. So, how about it? You and me. We can have some good times together. Look, I'll even take care of that, care of the bloody part if you don't want. Fuck off, asshole. I'll handle the killing. Ha ha ha. There you go, oh sunshine, we're gonna have so much fun. So listen, my name's Tyron. If you ever need me, I'll just be hanging out in this piece of meat you call a heart. And get to it. The more you kill, the more your heart turns rotten and sour, and I like rotten and sour. Kind of found herself nodding at the voice. Yeah, she said. Yeah, I think this can work. I'm gonna find that shade and I'm gonna strangle it with my its own guts. And when I'm done, I'm gonna do the same to you, Tyrion. Count on it. Ha! I've shit bigger than you, so good luck with that. Oh, and hey, one more thing. Right now, you and me are sharing this body. But if you ever run out of hate, if you ever, you know, go soft, I'm gonna take over everything. So keep on killing, sunshine, and watch your back. Voice grew fainter and gradually faded away, fading to somewhere deep inside Kane herself. Kane waited until she was sure the voice was gone, then waved her new left arm around a few times. It was perfectly normal, she thought. It was like mine. Desperately, she began poking and prodding at the new limb, determined to find something wrong with it. She didn't want it to feel normal. That would mean the creature inside her had already won. I'm not a shade. I am Kane. Repeating this mantra in her mind, she began slowly digging through the rubble of her house, being careful to ignore a certain red stained spot in the corner. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity of heartbreaking work, she found what she was looking for. It was a wreath of lunar tears. Though it had been through hell and back, the garland's petals were bright as ever. Kane started to place it on her hair, then slowly lowered the wreath and stared at it. Sorry, Grandma, I'm so sorry. But I don't deserve to wear this anymore. I'm possessed, corrupted, a freak. And this time, I don't think there's any going back. Holding the flowers to her heart, Kane fell to the ground and sobbed. As night gradually lightened to dawn and the people of the area rose to their daily tasks, she remained in that position, as if tears could somehow wash away the horror that now infected her body.
Alive. Stay alive. Stay alive. Grandma.
I was right, this was when she woke up, right?
Kaine, you gotta live. You gotta come back to us.
It's funny because you can't see her eyes opening. How does she see? God bless this DLC, dude. God bless. Oh, that's right, because this was after Emil transformed.
Emil, you were the one calling me, weren't you?
You still recognize me?
Of course.
I
knew you right away.
even like watching this cutscene after watching ending A, it hurts so much. Poor Emil, dude.
Welcome back, Kaine.
I do hope he has his own like ending, where he, you know,
You grew up.
doesn't fucking explode. Or implode, I guess, as it was.
How long has it been?
5 years.
She's like, wait, why are you wearing my, like, same clothes as me? What the fuck, dude?
Shit. That's a long time.
Sure is.
Any luck with Yona?
We are still no closer to finding her. By the way, this is for you.
Is that a lunar tear?
It's not as good as your grandmother's, but I tried.
No, it's great. Thank you.
Wait, am I actually controlling Kanye now? Fuck yeah, dude. Oh, don't put it back into the visual novel shit, please.
Kaine waking from her long petrified sleep. Emil's unflagging kindness. Our reunion was a happy one, and we let it wash over us like rain.
Oh, this is about where we find out they have to be kicked out.
That is, until Devila and Popola had to go and ruin it all.
Yeah. Fucking bitches. We killed them now that we know.
You can't be serious.
Yeah, I've been through all this.
People are tired and
Yeah.
This is
It's a we could
no. You and Kaine,
people
Right.
are afraid of as long as you're right.
I'm used to
but
We'll sorry.
Seriously, like, we know how this goes. Let's just kill them now. Oh, I have to control this
What
fucker
is
now.
the matter?
Kaine always sleeps outside. Never even occurred. Damn it.
We
Yeah, you're a shit person. We get it.
I didn't get much sleep that night.
Oh, was that?
For the first time in my life, I hated Devila.
Ah, don't worry, man. There'll be a second time.
For the first time in my life, I doubted Popola. But those feelings are pointless in the end.
I disagree in this case.
They said and did what they did for the sake of the village. To protect it from the horror of the Shades.
Factually false at this point, I think.
Really, how can I blame Devila and Popola?
Very easily, my friend. Very, very easily.
In the end, I'm just as bad. Because I never once stopped to think about Kaine and Emil's situation myself.
That is true. I do wonder, like, how the townspeople know about Kaine. Like, Emil, I get, right? Like, he's literally a floating skeleton. But, like, wrong Kaine, dude. Be chill. I don't remember this.
I should apologize to Kaine and Emil, but what good would that even do?
I got a fire going, Kaine.
Wait, is that?
Campfires
Oh,
are... I'm so happy
this
to
is
get
definitely
to
new.
talk to you again, Kaine.
Yeah, me too.
I tried everything I could think of to save you, you know. I polished you with a special cloth. I poured warm water over you.
Wait, you poured water on me?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, but it didn't really do much except make you all shiny.
Hey, Emil. Thanks for saving me.
I guess you noticed how I look different now.
Yeah, slight change to what you used to look like. Wouldn't worry about it.
I'm sorry for all of it.
Like someone getting a haircut, right?
I mean, this new form isn't all bad, you know? At least I can look at you when we talk, right? Hey, so why don't you tell me something about yourself?
I'm not very interesting. Sorry.
I don't know, man.
Come on.
Seems like Emil's got
I
a
just wanna know you
pretty good
better.
view.
Please?
Fine. This all happened when I was a kid. Before the whole shade possession thing. My body is different. And when the villagers found out about it, they started treating me like a freak. But one person, my grandmother, accepted
Yes.
me just as I was.
We all know about this story
No
now.
matter how bad things got. She gave me the strength to keep going.
Because anyone that, like, actually stuck through and listened to this whole thing that I narrated, shout outs to you, by the way, if you did. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
You're a real one.
Hey, that gives me an idea. Since we cured your petrification, we should start looking for a way to cure your possession in my body. I know we can do it if we all work together.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
It'll probably be super easy.
Let me guess. More warm water?
Okay. Can we just forget I told you about that?
Fuck yeah, Emil and Kaine having banter. And the main character being fucking sus as hell. You know, I was kind of hoping at some point to, like, actually be able to play as Kaine. Just putting it out there. Alright, I gotta fuck myself.
Sleep well?
Sure.
And yet your red eyes tell a different tale. Don't be so hard on yourself, lad.
I need to go see Devila and Popola.
Very well.
Alright. 900 G's.
What might that be?
It's Mom's diary.
I have not heard
Oh.
She got the black scrawl and
My apologies.
it's alright. This is the only reading it helps remind.
I see.
But the final entry,
In what way?
well, take a look.
Oh crap, do I shit? Oh crap, what did I just do?
Say there. Can you not hear me?
Oh, what the fuck?
Why are you standing about like a slack-jawed...
This is the original character.
Sorry. Felt like I was dreaming or something.
Sleeping on one's feet is quite the talent indeed. Come now, there's the door.
Right. Let's go.
This is... Oh. Okay. Wait, can I save from here? No. Are my weapons right? Yeah. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna stop recording here. I actually need to go, and it's been about an hour and my voice is killing me. When we come back, we're gonna do this. So thank you guys so much for watching. It's more like an intermission episode. Apologies for that, but I hope you enjoyed it regardless. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Alright. We're just gonna do this fight. Wait, I can leave the area? Yeah. Let's just do the fight. Basically I just came back from where I was, been out for a couple hours. So I'll just chuck this in at the end of the video. As a little bonus. This is the world of a recycled vessel created to avoid the destruction of all. What the hell? I have magic, okay. Guess we're going down. What is this music, dude? Oh my god. Music's sick. Okay. Can I just like jump down? Or not too far to go though. Alright. More little guys. I'm assuming this fight gets harder, right? Like, still trying to figure out what this is about. We looked at our mother's diary and then suddenly we're here. Although I suppose it would stand to reason that the dad from the first game is obviously the father of the kid we have been playing. This sounds very Persona, the music. Holy what the fuck? That was quick. Am I just not supposed to be this strong or something? Okay. It's a crappy reward. Black Scroll, a lost destiny, a white book, a false truth. Oh shit, no, we're still going, boys. Oh, we're here, okay. Oh, okay. Alright. Easy peasy. Oh my god. Who next? Oh god. So is this just like a rush mode or something? Okay. Not so bad so far. This does just remind me of the start of the game. Oh, Jesus Christ. Holy shit, I did say I wanted more bullet hell stuff. This is ridiculous. Okay. Definitely this looks like a fight rush. Soldiers of Salt calling forth white death. They are legion, those who plunge the world into darkness. Oh my god. Just caught that in the face. Took a lot of damage from that too. Right. Where'd they go? Damn it. The way they spawn and the way the camera works is not great. Oh god. And then they just keep disappearing. Yeah, okay. Ah, it's annoying. Okay. Sorry, I'm not really commentating much. I'm trying to concentrate. Apologies for that. Alright, are we done? Great. Obtain the one-handed sword Fool's Embrace. Awesome. Another weapon. I always appreciate that. The dragon's corpse brought death to the world, delivering unto it the power of magic. Oh. It's really a cool aesthetic they have going. Very dark. Oh, fuck me, dude. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, he means business. Okay, well, I dodge, but that's fine. There we go. Easy wins, boys. Or herbs. Alright, what next? Black sickness stains the future. They journey to return to soulless vessels. Okay, 2D side scroll. Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, we're here, okay. Or like a similar area to this. Okay, fine. Of course, they're the armored ones. Oh, there's so many. God, the axe takes so long to wield, but it makes sense. Plus, they drop like crap tons of these, so that's nice. Great. More medicinal herbs, sick. Actual platforming. Oh, fuck. Get juked. Okay. Oh. Why did I go for that? Where did it put me? Okay, that's fine. Oh, that's shitty. Actually, it's kind of shitty I can hit him from here, so that's fine. Oops, oh, Jesus Christ. Ah, damn it. Tried to parry. No reason to. Easy wins. Obtain the Kabuki outfit. Ooh. 1,000 experience points. Okay. Are we done? Maybe not. Okay. Go no. What's this one? Oh, okay. All right, let's leave for now. Yeah, we'll come back to this. I guess it's just like an extra area where I can unlock like outfits or something. It's kind of cool. Be interested to see what the Kabuki outfit is. But for now, I'm pretty happy with the 2v1, not gonna lie. Alright, cool, we're back here.
My word.
Something wrong?
I feel as if I've just awoken from a most unpleasant dream.
I know what you mean. That happens to me whenever I read it.
Thank you and Weiss experience two very different things there, bud. Alright, save up. I'm gonna save over this one. Okay, cool. That is actually gonna do us off this one, guys. Yeah, thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.